Hi guys, I'm Delmarad Yakubov. Today I'll be talking about our semester in Mass Integrating Technology class, which was a pretty fun ride. Mass Integrating Technology class focuses on the use of technology efficiently and effectively in math classrooms for the teachers. As you can see on the screen, I have Math Technology Proficiency Project, which we did in the middle of the semester, and we had to learn a new program and math program and be good at it and write a paper how we learned and how was the process and how useful it can be. And for this one I did QuickBooks Online, which is mostly math program, and it's very useful for the young people which is in high school and can be really useful for them in the future if they learn this stuff. And another big project we did was technology expertise project, and on this one we had to use a program which we already knew and were familiar with, and we had to just expertise on a part of it or on a section of it. On this project I did Excel, and I focused on the high school students, and my topic was how they will use monthly statements and create charts on Excel. And another thing we learned throughout the semester was GeoGebra, which I knew zero things about before I started the semester. And I'll show you a couple of the exercises we did. As you can see, I am a soccer fan, so I just relate everything to soccer. So we did this project, it's kind of velocity thing. If you move the T across, the ball goes up and starts going down. And another thing we did was soccer players, and if you move A here, soccer players start popping up, which is a pretty cool thing, and it can be useful in the math classrooms just for the kids get a hang of it. And we did a lot of exercises and activities throughout the semester, which was pretty fun. And I will start with the one on fixed points and converging sequences, which is 4.1. On this one we had to use a graphing calculator, and we had to pick any positive number and get the square root of it, and after that we had to keep pressing square root sign until something happened. So in this one, if it was over 1, the number you picked, like let's say if it was 9, if you kept pressing the square root of it, it went back to 1. And if it was less than 1, like between 0 and 1, it went back up to 1. So whatever we did, it went to 1 on this exercise. Okay, I'll just skip this one. I had a 50 on this one, so I'll just skip this one too. Okay, here is a good exercise that we did on recursively defined functions and the limit of an infinite sequence. On this exercise, We had a patient that needed a certain drug, and initially 200 cc's of the drug was injected, and after 1 hour 75% would be gone, and 30% would be injected the next hour. So we had to find how many cc's are kept in the patient's body throughout hours, and we had to create a function here. As you can see, L is the amount of drug in the patient's body times 75% equals 30. So I had to divide 0.75 by 30 divided by 0.75, and we got 70 cc's. And the keystrokes in this exercise was percent that left patient's body and new dose injected, which is 30 cc's. This is the exercise that I really like, and I got 100 in, as you can see. This is based on the units of digits of perfect squares, histogram, and relative frequency tables. On this one, we had to get the square of the numbers 0 to 9 and get the frequency of the last number to the right. As you can see here, the frequency of 0 was 1 out of 10, 0 to 9, so it's 10%. And if you go here, 0 to 1 to 20, it's 20 numbers, but the frequency of 0 is 2 out of 20, which is 10% again. And if you go to 0 to 30, the frequency of 0 is 3 out of 30, which is 10% again. So if there was another table with 0 to 40, frequency of 0 would be 0 out of 4 out of 40, which is 10% again, which is really interesting to know. On 6.2 we did the same thing, but we cubed it. As you can see, it's the same thing here. Frequency of 1 was 1 out of 10 through 0 to 9. So if you go to 1 to 20, frequency of 1 is 2 out of 20, which is 10% again. If you go to 0 to 30, frequency of 1 is 3 out of 30, which is 10% again. So it's basically the same thing as squared when you cube it. And if you go to 6.3, it's the same topic, but we had to raise it to the power of 4 in this exercise, and we just did it only 0 to 9 just to see. Here's the thing, when you square it, you will get the frequency of 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, and 9. But when you raise it to the power of 4, it goes 6 numbers to 4 numbers, which is 0, 1, 5, and 6, which is pretty interesting. And on this one, we played a little with the velocity of a thrown object and the height of the thrown object and trajectory of an object. As you can see here, we were given a function here, and we had to double the initial velocity in the first step and see what happens. As you can see, I wrote here max height went from 16 to 64. When we doubled the velocity, it quadrupled. And the time to go down, it doubled, even from 1 second to 2 seconds. In the step 2, we had to triple the initial velocity and see what happened. And the max height went from 16 to 144. which was like it was cubed when it tripled. And there was a pattern here, so as you can see, so if you double it, you're getting 4 times of it. If you triple it, it's 9. So whatever the number is, and as the height, you will get the square of that number. And on 8.2 we did the same thing, but it was with gravity. So on the first step we had to get the half of the gravity what was given in the first place. And the time, it didn't change, but I think the height changed from 8 to 32, I think. And on the step 2, when we the gravity was 1/4 of it, so the time doubled to come down. So it went from 2 seconds to 4 seconds. And the max height was 64 instead of 32, so it doubled too. So as you can see, there's a pattern here too. So when it's half, it's times doubling. When it's 1/4, times 4. So as you can see, I made a table here following the pattern. So that was basically what we did throughout the semester, and we learned some other technologies. For example, we learned a lot of activities using the graphing calculator, and GeoGebra is the main thing. And these activities helped a lot to sharpen our brain, and so we can teach the kids easily and effectively with the use of technology. Thank you guys.